Imagine meeting your first love at 16, finding them in the white pages, losing touch for 50 years, and then reconnecting on Facebook and getting married. Vicky actually lived this story, and today we're going to learn exactly how it all happened and where they're at today.
I was going to say that sounded familiar.
Yeah.
That story.
Well, why don't you take us back? How did you first meet him in the white pages?
Oh my goodness. This all started with you because you had taken a job as a telemarketer. And I have no idea. I know it was in Arlington. I don't even know what we were selling. But anyway, you got me a job there. And the job was to go, we did it in the evening, probably after school or something. You went in and we all had these little bitty cubes and you were just given a big fat phone book.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were all assigned maybe letters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you do the H's and I had the W's
Right.
that day. And you were literally going down through each listing in the white pages. And I called this number and somebody answered. And I could tell it was a younger guy. And what's funny is that he was staying at a friend's house. Jonathan was. It wasn't even his house. He was down here visiting from Carbondale, Illinois. So anyway, yeah, for some reason, I probably gave him the spiel and he probably came back with some smart aleck, reply. I wish I remembered more of the details, but I don't.
Well, me too.
Yeah. But that goes back to that other issue that we have. But anyway, so we just got to talking and flirting. And at the end of the conversation, he had asked me out. This is 1973. And I was like, yeah. Okay, you sound cute. I mean, oh my gosh.
You sound cute.
You sound cute. Well, there's no way
Did
to
he
see
have
a
an
picture.
accent?
No.
Oh,
He just sounded young, I don't know, sounded cool. But anyway, you no picture, no online stuff. I didn't know what I was getting into.
Right.
I mean, he could have been a serial killer. I don't know. So anyway, so we made a date. We were going to meet at the Texas Hall on the UTA campus. And of course, I didn't drive. I didn't have a car. And the only person that could take me. So I guess that must have happened during the week. And this is probably a Friday night. We were going to have a date, whatever. So you take it and you just drop me off.
Yep.
And I don't even remember how we, connected. I guess he told me what he looked like and I told him what I look like. And
you were in a red Maverick.
And I was, well, yeah, if you even saw that, because, you had to drop me off the street.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was our first date.
Okay. So you had this wonderful story. You moved in with his parents. You moved out of Grand Prairie. You moved to Illinois. You guys lived together. You were still 16. Your dad.
Well, there's a little bit more in between there if you want to go there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
give us a brief.
We immediately from that first date just started. It was all the time we could possibly be together, right? And so you're right. I was 16 at that time. When I became 17 is when I knew it was legally you could move out. Right. And I did. I mean, and then it's in my junior year in high school and I move out into this little apartment with my boyfriend, But so we did that and then for a couple months and then you're right. Then we decided to go up to Carbondale, Illinois, which is where his dad was a professor at the college there, Southern Illinois University, I believe it is. And yeah, that's what we did.
Well, what caused you two to lose contact?
Oh, after it was all, well, okay. So we ended up being together over a year and a half, about a year and a half. And actually, so we were up there and Connie, that was hard. I mean, we moved in with his parents, but then we moved to a little trailer and I think he's working at a gas station. And I mean, I had just turned 17 pretty much, I didn't know anything. We were there for a few months and then we moved to Springfield, Illinois because he was going to be in a band because he is a musician. And so he was going to be in a band. So we moved up there, moved in with some kids, crazy. So it was a crazy time because I got a job in a clothing store, if you will, in the jeans department downtown Springfield, Illinois. So I was working. He was being in a band. And so that man, he was gone all the time. We had zero money. I can remember going days without eating. I mean, it was hard. No money, no food. I couldn't go to the clubs or bars because I was not of age. So I'd stay home and he was out trying to be in a band and everything. So it got old for me. And so about in August, we were there a couple months. About in August, I finally called my parents and we're like, I think I want to come home. Doesn't mean that
Yeah.
I'm not going to, we're still not going to live together and do our own thing, but I think I'm ready to come home. So my dad, who was a private
Mhm.
pilot, and his friend who was going to be the co-pilot, they rented a plane, a four-seater, and came up there to Springfield, Illinois, and picked me up. And I came home, and I was home probably maybe a month before Jonathan came back down. But in the meantime, um, it was time for me to start my senior year in high school. And my mom was like, well, if you want a fresh start, why don't you? There's a brand new high school out in south of town. I think it was maybe a couple of years old. So if you want to go to school there for your senior year, you can. So I got back into school, and man, this is back when grades were like A plus, A minus, B plus, B. When you graded on that kind of scale.
D. F.
I, well,
I'm just
I don't know
saying.
about that. But
If I remember
oh,
correctly,
it
it went
was,
pretty low.
yeah, I was just making straight A pluses. Things started to kind of change for me a little bit. Like, okay, but maybe being a hippie was fun, but I'm not digging that so much anymore. So I just got into school. Jonathan and I were still living together by the winter time, probably about December. He didn't know what he wanted to do. He was a couple years older than me, obviously, but he didn't talk about going to college or anything like that. But he decided he'd join the army. So I felt that was a good avenue for him to just kind of figure out what he wanted to do, I guess. And he ended up joining and leaving, I think, right around the January 1st or something like that. We rode a little bit while he was in boot camp and stuff, but something just clicked with me. Like, I don't want this life anymore. I want to go to college. I want to, it just
Don't
changed
want to
for
be
me. Yeah, I
hungry.
don't want to be hungry. I don't want to, not have any money. I don't want to smoke pot anymore. Something just clicked with me.
So y'all left, you went your separate ways. Now, during this time, did you ever think about him through the years?
Um,
Or were you too busy?
well, I was definitely
You had a
busy,
different
and
life.
I mean, in my mind, I figured he was probably still living the life that I didn't want to live anymore. And yeah, I mean, I thought about him, and actually, when Facebook came up at one time, I did just try to look up his name. Honestly, I didn't know if he was alive because basically a chain smoker, and just this unhealthy way of life. And so I honestly didn't know, and I couldn't find him, and it wasn't for any. It was just curiosity. It wasn't for any sentimental
Well, you
reasons.
just answered that was my
Oh,
next
did I?
question. Did you
Yeah,
ever try to find him? So
yeah, yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah.
Okay, did any part of you ever feel like maybe that chapter was unfinished? Ever have in the back of your
Mm-mm.
mind?
Nope. When I was
Wow.
done, I was done.
Okay, well, let's get to the fun part. When you saw each other again after all these years, was it like fireworks
No.
or wait, is that you?
No. Do we have time to go into just leading up to we actually saw each other?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
definitely.
So it was August of 2016, and on Facebook Messenger, a couple messages came up, and they were old messages. And I don't know how in the world this happens, but one was from a girlfriend, and one was from Jonathan, and they were both like a couple years old, and they just popped up. I
Wow.
know, it was crazy. So, and his said, "I'll be damned," and then I just answered back like, "No way." And then we just kind of started talking from that. But really, we had some unfinished business as far as the way. Not only it ended, I wrote him a Dear John letter, so there was that. I mean, it was just hot, cold, on, off.
Right.
It's over. Uh, So I did do that. But also at the time, we had some close friends. And when I did break up with him, she was like, well, he had another girlfriend and stuff like that. So we had some baggage that I was being told, and things that I felt. So I was kind of like, hey, I'm mad at you. You were a jerk. Comes to find out, he probably really wasn't. But anyway, and I was also dating somebody at the time, and so we just kind of started talking on texting, and he's really easy and fun to text with, and we got all this other old stuff kind of straightened out and everything, and he was kind of, I could tell, wanting a little more, and I was like, no, I don't. That's not my life. I don't really know so much what your life is now, but I know where my life is, and I know. And and then eventually we talked on the phone, and then at one point I said, no, we don't even contact me. I just don't. Let's don't do this.
When you talked on the phone, did he sound the same?
I don't remember what he sounded like.
Oh,
He
my
sounded
goodness.
older.
You're
He
ruining my
did.
love story
Oh.
here.
What,
Okay. So you don't know
what
if
did
he's
we
another
say? We
thing.
weren't going to sugarcoat anything. We were going to be
Right.
brutally honest.
That's true.
Yeah. But and then you're right. So I tried to stop it, but then I did miss him. I missed talking to him and everything. And then we kind of got over that, and so I went up to see him. He was in Milwaukee
Mm-hmm.
in December, and we started talking again in August. So that a few months had gone by, and yeah, you asked me if it was fireworks or something. No, he was late picking me up from the airport. I'm standing outside at a Milwaukee airport in December. It's cold. I only took my Texas sweater, which is my fault, or blazer or whatever. But I'm thinking, we haven't seen each other in 42 years and you're late.
Well, who recognized who first?
Well, I'm standing out there trying to
You're
get
the only
right.
person. Yeah, that's a good point. The only one left
I
in
was
the,
like,
in the
yeah.
pickup lane and baggage
Exactly.
the luggage carousel, riding it around.
That did not sit real well with me. Like I said, 42 years and you're not here to pick me up on time. I mean, I probably would have been there for an hour early, right? If I was picking up somebody.
Okay,
like
your
that.
first conversation face to face.
Uh-huh.
What was that like? After he got there.
Yeah, right. It was a little awkward for me. It really was, because he had been late. He came speeding up. I was just like, I'm not sure about this. I really was. I was like, I'm not sure about this. But then we went and had a couple old fashions.
You were sure about everything.
Everything was fine, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my girl. Okay. Back in the beginning, when you met him, going to go back a little bit. So when you met him,
Mm-hmm.
what was it? What was he like back then, and what made you fall for him?
Well, shoot, he was cute. I
He
mean,
was cute.
I was 16. He was
cute.
He was 2 years older. Like I said, it was kind of, I had this fantasy, or what I thought that age should be like, and he has long hair and a beard, and I think even an earring at that time. And he had just gotten back he had graduated from high school, obviously, in the springtime, and he had gone to Montreal, and it was just like, wow.
So,
But I mean, that's physical stuff and silly
Right.
stuff like that. But he I don't know. We just kind of hit it off from the beginning.
well, did it feel like no time had passed, or totally different?
When we got back,
Yeah, when you met him, when you
I
saw
really
him, was
did.
it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of like this is the way it
Yeah,
was
it
50 years ago, or
well, without all the crazy,
well,
silly,
yeah, that's
pot
true.
smoking and being hungry.
Your stomach's not
Yeah,
growling.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. When did you realize that this is still something special?
Well, I think probably
Immediately?
probably after we saw each other. I knew it was something special as we talked and texted and everything like that. I knew that, and then face to face, and then once I got over being almost left to the airport and everything, and I saw how he was now. So our lives, his stayed more the same than mine did, obviously, but not to the extent to where,
Right.
yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, what did you forget about each other that you quickly remembered after reconnecting?
Wow. What did I forget about him? Hmm. I thought of something, then it just went away.
So you didn't think a whole lot about it.
No, when you said the question,
Oh,
I thought,
well,
and then
think.
then I
Give it.
lost it.
Well, will we ever say the question again?
Maybe it'll come back.
Okay, well,
I
let's
don't
see.
know.
Okay, let's be honest.
Okay.
Were you nervous about how both of you were going to look now after 50 years?
Yeah, I was nervous about how he was going to
How
look.
you weren't worried about you. You were worried
I
about.
didn't worry about myself so much. I guess. I mean, I should. There's no reason not, not to. But I
But you
mean,
were.
I was still running marathons at that time. I was still in really good shape. I was still, yeah. So I
Cute.
didn't really think much about it.
Yeah.
But
But
he
you
told
did
me
have.
he told me he's gonna kill me probably. But even before he saw me, he said, "Well, yeah, I need to have some teeth work done."
Oh my God.
And so I don't know what to
That's
expect.
that to me that's not a real good opener
I
for when you're meeting someone after 50 years.
Right. So I think it's fair that I was probably a little more,
He could
you
have
know,
said, well, I could have some teeth. I'm gonna have some teeth dropped off. I gotta have some teeth dropped off to have some work on them before you get here.
oh my goodness.
That's
Isn't that funny?
really
But
good.
he's
That is that
he-
would not have been.
he is brutally honest though.
Obviously.
Not only is he honest, he is just so laid back and just doesn't care about a lot of stuff, you know? So I mean to him that, anyway.
When did you
I don't
know?
want to speak for him, but
When did you know it was really true love,
well,
or not, and not just nostalgic?
yeah, I mean that's a really good point. But if you think about nostalgia, I mean, or being nostalgic, I mean, I didn't come away from that relationship. I did at first. I mean, yeah, he was my first love and
Right.
everything, but I didn't come away from it because of the ending and everything. You know, I stopped that relationship, so I wasn't nostalgic for it. So it was just after getting together and getting to know him again as a person and maybe what our life would look like. Because okay, back then, it's romantic fantasy love or whatever
Right.
from my perspective, and now it's more like, probably how it should be. Grown up companionship. Is this a person that you feel comfortable with? Is this a person you feel safe with? Person you want to share life with? So,
Well, who said that after when you got back together and I know the answer,
oh,
but who said I love you first?
oh gosh, I don't know. Probably him.
I guess that
Yes.
was gonna that was gonna be
Yeah.
that was gonna be my guess. Okay, so now tell us how the proposal happened.
Oh, I think
It was just common knowledge.
yeah, well, I
mean,
think
we'll just.
yeah. Bless his heart, he's not the most romantic either, but he. I think I said right from the beginning, or when we really were getting serious, that I'm not getting married again. I don't have a good track record. I don't. This hasn't worked out well for me, so I'm not getting married again. And his proposal was, "Well, you will at least one more time."
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
yeah, I mean it was sweet, yeah, but
That really
yeah.
is sweet. And so you want to give us, like I said, it's how long have you been married now?
It'll be 9 years in
9
August.
years.
Yeah.
You want to give us a kind of a brief update what the past 9 years have been like? Was it what you expected?
I don't know if I knew what to expect, I guess, but yeah, it's been. I mean, it's so funny because here we are and here we will be and everything, but there are some elements there that I didn't like then, and he didn't either, but that are kind of still there. I think one of the biggest things we still
Struggle with?
struggle with, I guess, is this musician mentality, this night owl stuff. And we've already discussed that I'm up at 3 or 4, 5,
Right.
and I'm still working. So it's he does his best at night. I do my best in the morning, and so it's that's a challenge, but I mean, it's fine. And I think part of getting older is just realizing that's okay. You know,
Well, you know what they say, romance is alive. It just goes to bed earlier.
does for sure.
I mean, okay, we're gonna play a little game from then to then and
Uh-oh.
now. I came up with these
Oh,
questions.
Connie.
I'm gonna give you 60
I feel like
seconds.
I'm being drilled today.
60 seconds. You speak fast. Then and now. Who's the better kisser?
I
Your
think we're better
clock's
together.
ticking. Okay, the more patient,
Him,
the more stubborn,
me.
more romantic.
Eh.
Okay, here's a good one.
I don't know if either one of us are romantic anymore.
Okay, here's a good one. Okay, better dancer.
Oh, well, that me.
I was going to say
Yeah.
we saw you boogieing at his 70th birthday party.
Uh-oh.
So we pretty much knew the answer to that. So I came up with a few little tips to remember as seniors as we're dating and having relationships. At our age, playing hard to get just means we didn't hear you. Romance is sharing your password and your prescriptions.
Oh.
Says, I don't need a soulmate. I need someone who can find my glasses and drive after dark. And if we don't reply quickly or you don't hear from us for a while, it just means we're not ghosting. We just forgot how to text. And again, remember at our age, playing hard to get just means you fell asleep.
Oh, Connie, that's great.
That's all we've got for today. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Then and Now.
Bye.